Hey everybody, it's Keith, and welcome back to another episode of Manga Rewind.
You doing the hand gestures again?
Yeah,
all right.
Second time that no one will see that. Before we start this episode, I just want to say, if you haven't seen Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, go watch it. It's on Netflix. It's actually, well, I don't know about good, but the ending makes up for it.
All right. So you want to do a recommendation? You guys ever want to do a recommendation?
Yeah, I sometimes like to just do recommendations.
You know what? Let's put this on the record. I want this on the episode so everyone can hear it. I want this broadcasted to the world.
All right.
How about each episode we do a recommendation?
Yeah.
For just something?
Just anything. If you want to recommend an album, if you want to recommend an anime, manga, whatever the hell you want, man, I think that's really cool. Just because, let's keep it cash.
Yeah.
It's business cash here.
Yeah. Take off your socks and just, take your pants off. Come everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
That's what I do after a long day at work.
I was gonna say Spark a J, but
nah, after a long day at work,
whoa.
As long as you just gotta lube up your butt.
Oh, all right. Well, let's backtrack. Let's reel this in.
Weekly recommendation: lube up your butt.
Yikes! A weekly recommendation. Interesting.
Stop.
A weekly recommendation, not even like a once a month. Like nah. Do this on the regular.
All right, what's your recommendation? While I come up with a real one.
That was yours. You had your one chance. Yeah, you had your one chance. You fucked it up, dude.
So are we not doing this again? We're not.
No, yeah, it's over. It's done. No more.
Jesus
You know what?
Christ.
I'm gonna recommend the Faceless Planetary Duality. I've been re-listening to that album like nonstop this week, and it's this perfect technical death metal album, and it's so jazzy, and it's still fresh. It's still such a really good album. It has this weird atmosphere to it, and it's got this whole sci-fi theme, and I think it's awesome. I totally recommend listening to it. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but just try it out.
It's actually my number one album of all time. It still sits as my number one.
Yeah, I would say it's top 5 for me for sure. But yeah, what would you recommend?
Shake It by Metro Station.
Shake, 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 shake it.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna recommend that. I'm actually gonna recommend. For some reason the other day I heard "I Try" by Macy Gray.
Okay. I haven't heard it.
I don't know if I should do my Macy Gray impersonation.
No, I don't think you should.
Yeah, but
All right. So Macy Gray.
Yeah, just listen to that song.
All right.
I don't know. It's a good nostalgic song. Put me back in that 98, 99 feel, like being a little kindergartner, not caring about the world.
98. You were in kindergarten.
I think my timeline's messed up.
Yeah.
I think
a little bit.
Like.
Whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move on.
You got me twisted on my timeline now. I don't remember. Either way, it's got me in that carefree childhood.
All right,
zone.
cool. Yeah,
it's a nice song.
Well, check out our recommendations, I guess. Do or don't.
Only fucking do mine. Only do mine.
Yeah.
No, I don't care about these normies over here. Only do Godzilla Planet.
Make sure you lube up your butt though.
Yeah,
that's
I will recommend that one actually.
Yeah,
that one's actually. While you're watching Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, lube up your asshole for that ending.
You know what? My recommendation: don't.
Don't listen.
Don't do those.
This is a majority vote. It's still 2-on-1.
Oh no!
2-on-1 for lubing your butt.
All right. Let's move on to
let's actually do something now.
Let's.
This is actually legit. I'm probably going to be coughing a little bit, so I'm sick, unfortunately.
It's that wintertime. Got colds, flus, ailments.
Yeah, I don't get vaccinated anymore, so because.
Nope, let's not even go into that. So, anyways, let's go into the purpose of this podcast is manga.
Yeah, ghoul stuff.
Sven Gulli, dude.
Yeah.
Chicago's wanting great. The only great to come from Chicago.
I like his son. The son is Finn Cole. Big fan.
Big fan.
All right, so who wants to kick this off?
So right now we are at chapter 5.
Yeah, we're chapter 5.
And things are getting a little tense. He's like, "So you're a ghoul, are you? Oh, I get it." That's the first panel. That's what
You're
he
on
says.
my turf, brother.
Yeah, I think that's weird. Well, actually, that's like weird that they have like,
Turfs?
yeah, like what? Like, you think they would just all be like working together now that like humans are hunting them? You think they'd be like let's just help each other out. Like, let's not be shitty about this.
Okay.
I mean, like,
I thought this over. Why isn't there a government system in place that doesn't exterminate them? Like, I get that they're, like, afraid of these ghouls. Like, it's a scary concept. They're eating your own kind. I get that. But, like, why isn't there some sort of government, like, feeding program where, like, people can donate their bodies to, like, feed these ghouls to suppress their hunger so they're not just
it's all about the hunt.
picking victims? Well, I get it would be for some, but, like, I don't get why there isn't some sort of government.
Yeah, it's just seems
But even if that was the case, even if there was still some sort of system, there's still going to be people who are like, I want to binge eat. I just want to kill people
For
for the
sure.
pleasure of killing
Well,
people.
right. You'll have people like Reese, like, bouncing around, but I think it would stop a lot of problems that you have.
Yeah, I think
I think it would suppress a lot of just these killings.
Yeah, I was about to say something, but I was like,
Whatever, but it's
yeah.
the sake for the story, so
right.
whatever. I mean, this is the narrative they're building.
Right.
So anyways, there's the whole turf thing, whatever. And then he's like, "Yo, Holmes, you're on my turf. Leave."
But he's just flexing, you know. He's like, I run the 20th ward. I run this bitch.
And then
Like,
Undertaker choke slams him into a wall.
he doesn't fuck around.
Yeah,
he's
man,
going for the
that's-
title
yeah.
fight.
That's how I want my girl to choke me.
Oh no,
But yeah, but then
Undertaker.
Yeah.
But then Toka shows up, and she calls Nishiki out. She says, "This ain't your spot. Reese beat your bitch ass. Get out of here. This is on Taku and Taiku's zone. This is for those weak boys. We gotta feed the squad in these streets."
Yeah, and then he was like being treated like a fool by an upstart, impudent brat. That's
Holy shit.
He's like crying too.
Damn, well put.
He's the Shadow the Hedgehog of this universe.
All right, well, that's gone.
So then Toka obviously kicks Nishiki's dick in. Like,
Yeah.
just beats the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
He
And,
doesn't really beat him. He just kind of.
well, she leaves him with some marks.
Oh no! You know what? I'm sorry. I thought that.
You know it's messed up?
No, I mistake the names. I thought Toka was the boy.
No. No.
Nah.
Toka's a boy name.
Get your characters straight.
But so Toka ends up beating the shit out of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, she's that whooping on him.
He's like, I gotta go, I hurt. So he's like bleeding and stuff, and he's not healing that great. And then meanwhile, like, Kaneki's on the ground like,
He's being a big baby about
he's
it.
just big baby all the time. He's like, ghouls are these assholes, you know, they're killing humans, they're killing each other. Nobody's safe on these streets. And meanwhile,
No man, woman, or child are safe.
Toka's like, you need to pick a fucking side. You gotta nut up or shut up. I don't have time for this shit. Like, just do what you want to do. And she fucking slams some flesh into his mouth.
And
he
she sends that boy to Flavor Town.
Yeah, he nuts in this panel.
It's like the most
Yeah.
sensual, like, feast. Like, he just lets it go. Like, he just vinegar strokes on command.
no. Yeah, no, that boy is sent to Flavor Town.
Flavor Town. Sorry.
But then, Kaneki still hits his little baby moment after he's like, I'm not
like,
like you.
I'm not a monster.
I'm different. I'm not like other girls. I promise. Like,
Yeah, so there's that whole blubber moment.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess that is true. Like that's kind of like a ghoul's. I'm not like other girls. I only hang out with guys because there's less drama.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that's strange.
And they could just eat them. They could just kill them.
yeah,
kill them.
I don't hang out with other ghouls. Yeah,
They're hard as fuck. They don't play games.
Well, that's the thing, too, is if you get hungry, you just dislike your friends. You can kill them.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. I guess. I'm going to kill all of you. I'm surprised. I'm a ghoul. I dislike everybody in this room.
Life's short. Take
Yo, smoke a port.
Yeah, life's short, smoke a port. Calculating like a dork.
Anyways, so then what? It jumps to Kaneki, right? And he's like, "Oh, I haven't talked to Hyde in a while." I'm still calling him Hyde.
I just keep
care.
imagining him being, when you say Hyde,
Oh, like that 70s show?
70s show, like, hey man, let's go to Big Girl.
Oh no!
Like,
Hyde would definitely go to Big Girls.
he'd live there. He'd live at Big Girl. Yo, with Donna at Big Girl.
Oh, stop. Stop. Anyways.
Not up for Asian history, huh? Still need notes? That's what Hyde texted him. Do you think they talk about, the... I mean, like, I guess you couldn't really not talk about it, but they're like... Do you think they're just like, yeah, America is assholes. They just dropped those 2 bombs on us for no reason. Like, unprovoked. They don't mention, like, the bombing or, like, Pearl Harbor. They're just like, yeah, they just dropped it on us, unprovoked.
Yeah, I wonder how it's taught in...
And, like, same with, like, Britain. Like, how do they say about, like, the American Rebel? Like, what do they say? Like, oh, those assholes, they didn't like what we were doing for them. They're idiots.
Yeah,
and
right.
now look at, like, how do they go about it? But
yeah, America's only had to talk about one loss. Brush that dust off your shoulder real quick, America.
Yeah, America's hologram Luke.
Oh, stop. But yeah, no, that's got to be a weird...
Is that Star Wars?
Yeah.
Is that the new one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet.
Whatever, it's not a big
Yeah,
spoiler.
it's not a big
It
It actually is a big spoiler.
It's a spoiler.
Yeah,
It's a spoiler.
I'm upset.
You know what? It's been out for longer than 3 weeks.
Yeah,
And
that's on you, dude.
3 week rule. Spoilers are bound to happen.
I'm working
3 hour
or
rule.
building Gundam. I ain't got time.
Anyways, where were we at?
I don't got friends.
So he texted him.
Friends. Yeah, well.
Alright, so Hide texted
Yeah, so he had texted him. I think that's the second time he texted him. Because he had also he had reached out to him before about when he was gonna kill him, or not kill himself, but try to cut his organs out.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so this is the second time he's reached out to him.
But yeah, so then they head out to the college, and he notices that he's not well.
Yeah. So he notices, and he's like, hey, if you've been not eating correctly or something, and Kaneki has this moment where he's like, damn, like Hide's like really perceptive.
And he's like, hey, I picked up this new habit, smoking crack cocaine.
Yeah. Hide's like, let me re-up. Let me get some.
Get some, man. Come on. New habit. It's fun. But anyways, he's like, hey, man, you should join this totally cool club. What was it, AV club or something? I forgot.
It's
whatever. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So he joins this club where he's like, hey, man, why don't we go on to this cool club that I'm a part of? And then they walk to the club, and they open the door. This boy is about to get his nut.
Yeah. Nishiki's...
The ghouls fuck?
Yeah, I think they do. Because I've read ahead, and they talk about how pregnancy works in ghouls.
Okay.
So I guess there is some ghoul sperm and egg going on.
Gotta keep the line going.
Gotta keep that line going.
Yeah.
But anyways, please cut that. I don't like that line.
gotta keep it going.
I'm gonna keep that one and amplify it. So,
No.
so it's like
echoes
breaking any speakers.
Sperm and egg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's breaking any speakers.
All right.
I don't like this. It was like this weird fucking mouth shot.
So where are we?
We're after he barges in,
So he barges in.
and then they recognize each other.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, make sure you knock on my door before you come in, because I'm trying to nut. And I don't respect that. That's fucked up. You wouldn't like it if I walked in on you trying to nut without knocking the door.
I'd probably nut harder.
Yeah.
Oh no, you ain't that voyeurism shit. Yeah.
Just
All right. You like let him watch.
Yeah. No, don't look away.
Yeah. You two, come in. Oh.
That's how I'm gonna get my big YouTube star. Just stream me, fucking. Like, good way to get banned. And
Yeah,
go to jail
real quick.
sounds like a good way to
get on that
become financially
watch
stable.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
financially stable. You mean?
definitely.
Yeah, the watch list like Forbes 100.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Person of the year.
So yeah, top 10 upcoming streamers. Marquise. For
Oh.
his one nut and done.
Something else that should be brought up here is before they barge into the room, Kaneki kind of has that moment where he's like, he kind of has this like existential crisis where he's like, well, if I become a ghoul, I don't know if I can continue to be friends with Hide, because like if I'm near him, like when's the day that I'm gonna finally snap and eat this guy?
Yeah, right.
And I don't want to eat my friend.
Which, oh man, that brings me, I think, to my favorite panel later on.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about it now, but
All right.
I think you know the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
I take back whatever I said about my initial panel that I
We're probably gonna have like a favorite panel like every.
Oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course. They're in the club room, and they're searching for a disc or something. I forget what it was about. They're searching for a disc.
It's a disc for the fair.
Oh,
I
okay,
think the committee does something with like a festival, and
Right.
they need to get the DVD that has like footage
Whatever.
of the festival from before. It's bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What's whatever. So they're searching for a disc, and he's like, "Hey, I can't find it. We need to go to my house." And then they go leave, and they get some food or whatever, and then he takes him to a dead end.
Yeah.
Which brings me to one of my favorite things in this, is that he backslaps Hide with the force of God.
Yeah.
That man, he slaps him across the room. He has to get some respect from pimps with that slap.
That's how my mama used to slap me when I didn't do my chores when I was younger.
Holy
Just
shit.
across the room.
Yeah.
God damn it, Marquise.
She said, maybe you'll
Whack.
think next time.
No. So yeah, and then he backhands him with the force of God.
He's got the power of God and anime on his side.
He does.
Fuck.
Dude, you don't fuck with him.
Yeah, don't fuck with him. That's like some Goku stuff.
All right, so they're in the dead end, and he fucking clocks Hide like you brought up.
Yeah.
And Nishiki starts trying to like put the attack moves on Kaneki, and he's like,
You smell like a female ghoul.
he's picking up
You
on
smell like vagina.
Hold up. I'm sick of people like fucking sticking their fingers down their mouth in this, and like
It's weird, man.
it's like very well. It's like almost fetish levels of like
Yeah,
being drawn. Like
yeah.
like it's like the first few times I was like, okay, I get it, but like now I'm like, hold on, there's some ulterior motive to some of these shots and panos. Like it's a little.
You know
weird.
what's funny though is like we're talking about how inconsistent the art is.
Yeah, those shots.
But when
really
it comes
good.
when it comes to the fingers in the mouth shot, like I love this.
Yeah.
I'm all about this.
The author, like, probably subconsciously, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go a little extra on this panel. A little over and beyond on this.
So,
one.
dude, the guy drawing this, like, I wonder if he's got like one hand down, like he's drawn, like, and he's just like.
Other hand,
He's
he's
like
oral fixation.
finger fucking himself in his mouth, just
Oh.
eating his nails and shit. I don't know what he's
God.
doing.
Gross.
Oh no.
But it's at that level. It is
Yeah,
definitely at
it's
that
weird,
level.
man. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely
I'm
a
scared.
weird.
This is only chapter 7, so like, who knows? Who knows what's
Yeah,
later down
it's-
the line?
We should actually keep a count
tally?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else? All right, so it brings me to the fight. This is like the first. I don't know if we want to count the Reese thing.
I'm not really.
But this
counting
is
that one.
this
That's a
is the it's murder. It's one of the most confusing things ever in this whole entire manga. Like okay, so at the point of recording this, I am on volume 11 of 14, so I'm almost done.
Right.
There are so many confusing fights throughout this whole series, and this is the first of many. So I'm gonna keep a tally. This is number one confusing fight because nothing in this makes sense. Like there's no flow to it to like you can follow action. Like if you I don't know if any of you read Dragon Ball.
Okay.
But Dragon Ball has some of the smoothest fight scenes in manga, for sure.
That's probably true.
It
But
definitely does.
I think like with
It's I'm not gonna say it's
Yeah,
the
you go.
most fluid, but it's definitely like top 3.
I guess that one kind of has to be
Right. I mean, it's a martial
yeah.
arts thing, but this is just so confusing. It's so just jumbled, and there's no flow to it.
You know
Yeah.
what I think? Sorry, you go first.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think this is one of the times where the art style, and it's not even for, like, this manga in particular, like, with all manga, because I'm so used to reading, like, comics in color, it's, like, American comics in color.
Right.
Like, it's a lot easier to kind of, like, tell what's happening in a shot, but, like, when this is all black and white and, like, blurred lines, like, it's very easy for me to get lost and, like, be like, wait, what just happened? And, like, sometimes I have to read through panels, like, 3 or 4 times, and, like, other like comics that I read, like Spider-Man or stuff like that, it's like since it's like in color, it's like a lot easier to follow.
Right. It's easier
that
to
kind
break
of flow,
apart It's a lot easier to break apart depth because
Yeah.
they don't have to rely on shadow; they rely on color for that.
Yeah,
I mean, they do use shadow, of course,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but definitely a manga, like you have to have that separation of
yeah,
that,
just, like,
and it's
black and white. That's all you
yeah,
got.
right. And there's so many confusing panels in this where I can't tell, and it totally breaks that flow where you're ripping through pages, and then suddenly you just have to stop, and it just totally like halts everything, and I can't stand it.
I judge a good manga by if I actually go back to try to decipher what's going on, or
Yeah,
otherwise
right.
I'll just jump through. I'll be like, oh, well.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So what I think part of the problem is that because manga chapters usually aren't super long, like they feel kind of like fast.
Oh yeah, I mean they're
So-
only average 10 pages if that.
Yeah,
Doesn't
and
manga come out like once a month? Usually, if it's like in a
Yeah. If they're most of the time it's once a month.
depends what it is, because there's weekly and there's
yeah.
bi-weekly and then there's monthly.
Yeah,
But-
and then a lot of stuff goes on hiatus.
Yeah.
That's.
But I think Tokyo Ghoul was a monthly when it was.
I'm pretty sure it was a monthly. Yeah.
Yeah. But like for instance, like this fight, it's like a couple pages, but like they try to convey so much action with using less panels and just big spreads.
Yes, definitely.
And they don't do it correctly. Because like I've read other manga where like they do like the big spreads and you can tell what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
But with this, it's just like they do better when they have the small panels. Like for instance, when he kicks Kaneki like across the room, like they show him like boot him, and they show like the separation of Kaneki like flying across the room.
Yeah.
And that one is pretty good. But the rest of it is very like there's just a lot going on. They just want to show a lot of flash, and obviously when he has that that moment where he snaps into it and he finally uses his
Kagun? I want to say
Kagune,
Kagune, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's say Kagune.
When
I'm
he,
sure
like-
someone on Twitter will correct us as soon as they listen to this, so
Right.
whatever.
but like when he finally uses that, like there's like a little bit of flair to it, but even then it's like
Dude, I want to... Okay, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
The Kagune, why does it look so bland? It's like this big build-up to, like, him having it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like he's part ghoul, and all of them have these things, and then does he have it? And then it's just these blurb lines. There's no definition to it. It's very bland, and you think with the reveal, it would have some definition.
I think we're kind of jaded when it comes to that too, because we watched the anime
Right,
before we read this. So like I don't know if my perspective on that would have been different, because like when I saw it in the book, I know what it looks like in the anime, like how it's colorized and how
Right.
everybody's looks different, and
Yeah.
I was like, it looks okay, but it doesn't meet the hype because I've already seen what it looks like in
Yeah,
a more lifelike
definitely.
motion.
I guess that's different where we differ because I haven't seen the anime. This is my first time actually.
Oh, yeah, right.
Um,
Yeah, so what do you think about all this?
I guess that's weird because I didn't really think about that. I just assumed like that he would have one because like he is ghoul or half ghoul, so like I really didn't even think anything of it. I guess, and when it just happens, I guess I was just kind of like whatever. Although I've seen enough fucking manga and anime fights to know like
Right.
what to expect. So like
Yeah,
for me
right.
like nothing like that ever really surprises me anyways, just because it's like so apparent.
Yeah.
But I guess to me, because like to me they actually do all look the same. Like what you're saying, like how in the anime they're supposed to look different. To me, they kind of all do look the same. Like,
Later, there's like
a difference.
Different shapes, different colors.
They painstakingly. This is way later. They painstakingly explain that there's a lot of different types of them.
Okay.
And I have a whole problem with that. We'll get into that later.
Okay.
But yeah, no, they're it feels like almost like that was an afterthought. Like that the author like drew this and was like, whatever, they're just like talons, and then it was an afterthought that they were going to have definition and different types and all this.
Yeah, there's one I'm specifically thinking about that comes up in like book 3.
Tokas?
No, the parents.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like stands. If anyone watches JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I feel so I feel ashamed that I haven't watched it.
We watched the first 10 episodes, so like the first arc.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
That
so-
was rough.
I feel so like as an anime fan, I feel like I'm just doing a disservice to myself and not watching it.
I liked it.
Oh, I
Liked
loved
a
it.
lot,
Yeah, I thought it was really funny.
You like the first one?
Yeah,
I
thought
don't
it.
like the first one.
See, I like it because it's so over the top and it's so crazy.
To me, it's so because he's just like such a goody two shoes. It's so he's boring. Jonathan, yeah, he's boring.
Jonathan, yeah,
He's
yeah.
boring
No,
to me.
I kind of liked him. He wasn't my favorite part, definitely.
Right.
But I think just there's so many. The moments in that show are just so over the top. I feel like I'm watching a Mexican soap opera, and that's why I love it.
It's totally like that.
It feels
It's
like a Mexican
totally
soap
like that.
opera, and that's why I love the first part. Well, that's all I've seen. So, but anyways, let's reel back to the reason why we're here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about JoJo another day. For
Yeah.
sure, I'm positive.
Yeah, probably. So, anyways, so about the Kagune, he stabs Nishiki, whatever the hell his name is. I don't know what to pronounce
I just
that.
call him Nishiki.
He
Nishiki.
knocks the goddamn glasses off of him too.
Oh, that's a death blow.
He
You're done.
You're done, kid.
think-
The glasses are off.
I think something that's really important about this too is he notices right away. He's like, I think that's Rize's.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he
Oh,
flat
okay.
out says he's like,
Yeah.
he's like, that looks like Rize's. So he's like he's kind of like aware that something's not right here.
Okay, so he's kind of catching on to the game here.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, anyways, he defeats him, and then this is like I said, I take back everything I said about the old panel. Is in like Looney Tunes when they're on an island and they see their friend turned into
To like a turkey.
Yes. When you see Hide on the plate.
He's got the cutlery.
And he's got all the garnish around him, and there's like
Yeah.
a big fork and knife. I love it. I think it's it's a Looney Tune panel, and I think it's so funny. It's so goofy. It totally breaks the tension of him like losing his mind.
Yeah.
And like, it's so
That might just be because we're fucked up, though.
it's so stupid. No,
It's so
I'm
goofy.
sorry. I think it's just so goofy, and it totally
Yeah.
breaks that tension. It's so
It
stupid.
does. It really does. It's like a Family Guy gag.
Yeah,
or like
right.
a cutaway.
It's so you know what? Favorite panel. I'm putting that on the record right now.
Something we kind of skipped over here.
Oh, okay.
Nishiki brings up the fact of how perceptive Hide is as well, because Kaneki had a thought about it earlier, and Nishiki has this whole thought about him being perceptive and realizing that he kind of knew something wasn't right and told Kaneki to not come with. And Kaneki's like, oh, Hide, like, I'm still coming with, like, we'll go get this disc and whatever. And he even has that moment where, like, while he's unconscious, like, he grabs Nishiki's foot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Nishiki's like, I wonder if he's, like, asleep or if he, like, actually knows what's going on right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, flash forward.
18.
So then Toka shows up and he blacks out, and cut to him waking up at Anteku, and
That's how most of my nights go. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, Toga shows
blackout,
up at Blackout.
wake up at a coffee shop,
I'm like, oh shit, all right.
run
Wow.
by demons. They're not demons. So anyways,
They're demons of flavor.
they're they're demons of Flavor Town, dude. So so anyways, Yoshimura kind of has this these kind words to him, and he's saying like, hey, you have a place in both worlds, you're very important, you should not fret about this. And he's like, you have a job at Anteku now, and it's kind of like a really optimistic ending.
Yeah.
I like this ending a lot for this volume. It's very like, he's working in Anteku. It's his, like, he's no longer alone, which we saw throughout this whole first volume, and he kind of has, like, guidance now. And I think that's really cool.
He kind of, it's like, you take it as this moment is like, it's not just them feeding him, because he makes it a point to say, like, we're going to learn about each other.
Right.
I want you to learn how ghouls live, and maybe we can take something about that and learn how humans are.
Yeah, it's like this nice
we can learn
mutual,
each other's mentality.
Yeah, it's like this nice mutual understanding now.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so that ends volume 1 then. Overall thoughts?
I think it does what it's supposed to. Like, it sets up the story, kind of the premise of what's going on. I mean, I wouldn't expect a lot of crazy shit to happen in the first volume of a series.
Yeah.
Every once in a while there is exceptions to that. But Tokyo Ghoul is like, crazy shit happens, but it's like in the first chapter, it's the setup. Everything else is like him molding together. He's still learning.
Yeah.
We're not going to see anything big characterization wise for like a little bit.
Yeah.
So if I had to like rate it, like I'd probably give it like a 3 out of 5.
Okay. 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Marquise?
I'd give it 2 keys points. No. I don't know. I guess, like, since I don't really have, like, anything else to base it off of, like, I don't really know. I haven't, like, seen the anime or anything. This is my first time being introduced to this series. I guess I'd give it, like, I don't know, because like there are some parts that
we don't have to give it a number.
You don't have to give it a number. I just kind of was
No,
like throwing it out there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of all over the place for me because there's like I don't really like the main character, and then like I'm sure he becomes better as it goes on.
I like the concept more than the character.
Yeah, I think it's a good concept, but just like as you said, just like this character is a very poor lens to see it through right now for me. But yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, you know what? I completely agree with you, as I don't like the character, but I think the only thing that makes me move forward and want to read is to find more about this world.
Yeah.
I think the world is so much more interesting than the characters that are presented so far in Volume 1.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot better characters later on, but I don't think that... I don't know, it's an okay kickoff.
A lot of the supporting cast is
you
what
know,
brings it to life.
Yeah, definitely. Like the Gourmet. Gourmet's got to be my favorite character.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a decent kickoff. You get an interesting story, but that's really about it. So then, second part of this, would you recommend this to anybody?
I'll let you go first.
They'd have to really like manga and anime for me to recommend this to somebody.
Yeah, see, I would recommend this to somebody who's already pretty, I wouldn't say well-versed, but kind of has an understanding of how weird anime and manga can get.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
it doesn't...
Like, one of my friends who would be like, I like Dragon Ball Z, I wouldn't introduce them to
Yeah,
this.
definitely, right. You know what? I was thinking about this the other day. If this came out in the 90s, this would have crushed it. With, like, goth culture...
You know what?
I think this would be totally fitting if this was released in the 90s.
It's funny that you mentioned that if this came out in the 90s kind of type scenario, because, like, the first thing I was about to say is, like, if I was going to recommend this to somebody who actually reads manga, I would probably recommend that they read Parasite first. Because they're, like, kind of like a similar situation. Like, this person's thrown into this fucked up kind of, like, situation. They have to learn how to deal with it.
Yeah.
But they're very... similar, like people trying to learn to grasp their new concept of humanity. Yeah, so, like, I would say read that before you read this.
All right.
I was just thinking, like once you said that, like if this aired on Toonami with like alongside like Yu Yu Hakusho and like stuff like that, like the first kind of like anime being introduced like into like America, like Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, like Sailor Moon, all those, like I think that would have been like pretty good back then.
Yeah, definitely.
Or like they would definitely crush it.
But something we talked about, like the supporting characters that come up later on are really what builds this for me. It's kind of like the same way how I feel when I read like Batman. Like I don't read Batman for Batman. I read it for the villains.
You read for the Rogues Gallery.
Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, all right. So that concludes our Volume 1 of Tokyo Ghoul. You can find us on Twitter at Manga Rewind and our email at mangarewind@gmail.com. Send us some emails, whatever. Tell us some fun stories. I want to hear some fun stories about your connection with Tokyo Ghoul.
Feedback,
Or
recommendations.
Or if you've watched any of our things that we recommended, tell us what you think about. Tell us what you think about Ghoul.
Yeah.
Do not email us about lubing your butt.
Yeah. Don't email us about it. Just send us a picture.
Oh, no. All right. See you guys later.
Bye.